Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video, I'd like to discuss how Boris Johnson's Brexit plans to make Britain a scientific superpower, which it already was as a member of the EU, has fallen flat on its face. Not a single scientist has applied to the government's flagship scientific visa scheme. On the face of it, that's even more embarrassing than the failure over lorry driver visas. However, the reality is that the programme isn't even needed. Unlike the lorry driver visas, we didn't need a special one for scientists. It's just another example of how global Britain is a facade to hide the crumbling ruins of Brexit. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So I've discussed the impacts of Brexit on science before. The UK is actually a top performer in the field of scientific research. Britons win Nobel Prizes in science quite regularly. We get a stunning return on what little is invested into scientific research in this country. The government also like to laud the fact that one of the more successful COVID vaccines was produced in the UK. But science cannot flourish in isolation. Modern scientific research depends upon international collaboration. It's not just some sad loser with a microscope in their attic these days. Huge collaborations. And Brexit was all about isolating one of the largest economies in the world from the world. For all the talk about global Britain, we are isolated Britain. And I mean Britain, because Brexit even performed another step to isolating ourselves from the other bit of the UK in Northern Ireland. Brexit is the polar opposite of what the Brexiteers said it would be on every measure. As part of the government's insane post-Brexit immigration plans, a points-based system was introduced. Now, there's nothing wrong with a points-based system, of course, assuming that the points are awarded for things that we need. Surely the whole point of, no pun intended, of any immigration system is to ensure that you can attract useful foreign workers. Otherwise, why have a system at all? Why don't just say no, go away, this is our border, bugger off. Objectively, if your system blocks access to workers for jobs that you cannot fill with your domestic workforce, then that points-based system has failed. If it does not allow you to recruit skilled workers, such as lorry drivers and nurses, for which you don't just not have the people, you don't have the skills, you're desperately short of them, then that points-based system hasn't just failed, it has failed very badly indeed. But the points-based system was never intended to do what the government claimed. I mean, let's break down how it's supposed to work before we look at how it does work. So it's supposed to be like this. Foreigners are bad, right? Actually, no. Foreigners coming to visit and spending their holiday cash while marvelling at our castles and tea rooms, that's good. Those are good foreigners. Or coming to London to launder the proceeds of criminal activity, well, that's good too. Or coming over to donate to the Conservative Party. Or buying a football club to stop people moaning about your human rights abuses. That's all fine. No problems there. But to actually come over and do the jobs that we either can't or won't do ourselves, those are bad foreigners. So our Brexit government wanted a system that said foreigners couldn't come and work here. We want British jobs for British people. These foreigners were stopping you getting the decent jobs, is what they said. So they came up with a points-based immigration system. And how does this point system work? Well, Priti Patel said, you have lots of skills and are coming over for a well-paid job, then you can easily get in. That's what the skills system is for. The points-based system is to attract these highly skilled individuals. Oh, so foreigners can easily get a visa to do the good jobs? Yes. And what about the bad jobs? Oh, no chance. So who's going to do all the low-paid jobs? Well, British people. We've now purged these jobs of foreigners so that British people can now do them. Yeah? The low-paid jobs. Yeah. Not the well-paid jobs. No. You can get points for those, so foreign workers have no problem getting into those. So this points-based immigration system makes it easier for foreign workers to do the good jobs. Oh, yes. I mean, before Brexit, it was only European workers who could easily get those jobs. Now it's foreign workers from all over the world. But this system prevents us getting workers to do the low-paid jobs. Yeah, British workers need to do those. And if we can't get enough, then we'll just have to do without the results of their labour. So we're going to have to do without workers in care homes. Gritters on the roads this winter, that'll be fun. Nurses, teachers, oh, petrol. Yeah. And also fresh British produce on our shelves. Yeah, you're going to have to import more foreign food. Okay then. So now let's look at science in particular. I mean, this is no problem, surely. I mean, in terms of attracting the best scientists, the points-based system is no barrier. But the immigration policy in general is. See, to listen to Patel and Johnson talk about post-Brexit immigration and their plans for science in the UK, you'd think we were some sort of scientific backwater before we left the EU and that we were going to haul ourselves out of the dark ages. But the reverse is true. It is very common when the Nobel Prize awards are on, I pay attention to them, the science ones, not so much the others. It's quite common to see British success, but it's collaborative. So you might see a British scientist, as happened this year, win the award, but they're working in an American or a German university. Similarly, you might see a foreign scientist winning, but they did so working at Cambridge or at Manchester. The internationally collaborative nature of science. And I've talked about how Brexit is simply incompatible with top scientific research before. But the proof of the pudding is in the eating, as they say. I can try and explain to someone who's making a cherry pie, if you put dog shit in it, it's not going to taste very nice. But the final proof comes with the taste test. Don't you worry, it'll be fine. You'll see. I don't want to see, let someone else see. The New Scientist journal reported that not a single person has applied to come here using the government's prestigious awards fast-track programme. This is how it's presented on the government website. It's for academics, not just scientists, but I'm focusing on science here. It's for academics in various fields. It includes science and medicine, of course, who have won top prizes in their field. Now, interestingly, I will just put as a little aside, later in the article it does quote someone as pointing out that actually it's this system of saying, oh, if you've won like a Nobel Prize or a Turing Prize or something like that, that we can fast track you through, is a bit of a blow to diversity, because the vast majority of people who win these awards tends to be white males as well. But never mind that. The idea is it's a fast track system for making sure there are no barriers to the very best coming to work here. It's how it's built. Look how happy the people are on the poster. Look, that's on the government website. It's a giant gold trophy. It has a star on it. The trophy, of course, represents the opportunity to come and work in post-Brexit Britain. Look how happy the people on the poster are. And remember, these are the best of the best. Winners of Nobel Prizes. This isn't some poor kid winning a scholarship. No, these are Nobel Prize winners. Winners of other top-level awards. And their cartoon avatars are so delighted to be allowed to come here, to Britain. But wait, no, nobody's even applied. And deep down, I suspect, in fact, I'm very certain, that this is not even a disappointment to either Johnson or Patel. I ridicule the poster because it's ridiculous. And I suspect it's supposed to be ridiculous. I don't think this is an inadvertently ridiculous scenario. You know, a joke, not a serious attempt to cover for the serious pitfalls that Brexit has now placed in the path of our academic future. Like I'd already talked last month about the UK being frozen out of the Horizon programme. That is actively preventing us getting involved in scientific projects around Europe now. That's it. You know, and even if the difficulties are sorted out and we're back in, we still can't join those programmes. We just have to start on whatever new programmes emerge. We're now permanently frozen out of a load of projects that have started. Our scientific work is already suffering. You know, what was it that Boris Johnson said would happen if we left the EU way back when, before Brexit? Oh, that's right. He said there was an argument. He wasn't saying this is definitely the case, but he said there was an argument that it would be globally interpreted as a narrow, xenophobic, backward-looking thing to do. Well, I think the argument that he was discussing at the time has been given a lot of credibility with the consequences of Brexit so far. It's really this simple. As a result of not just Brexit, but our extreme Tory Brexit, we've lost access to scientific programmes. That's a fact. That means we are likely to lose scientists, including British scientists, currently working here because they need to go where the work is. At the end of the day, if you've got less scientific research going on in the country, you need fewer scientists. So the scientists we've got are going to go somewhere else. You know, much less work for them if we're not part of international research programmes. It's really that simple. The idea that we'd not only retain the top talent we had, but attract even more was fanciful. But the results are speaking for themselves. Nobody's applied for this. No top-level scientists have applied. Frankly, no top-level scientists need to apply because the points-based system that I already talked about works fine for them anyway. No barrier to a Nobel Prize winner coming over here. They're not going to be getting a low-paid job. Process is simple enough for these jobs. So the purpose of the scheme will not have been to attract talent, because it doesn't need to. It's to persuade the general public that we have so many brilliant people banging on our doors to come in that we need a special system to filter through the creme de la creme really quickly. That's what it was for. It was for the British public, you know, because you can imagine it saying, oh, we're going to attract all this top talent. But then there'll be loads of applications and they'll get stuck and it'll be 6 months later and their form will still be on someone's desk and they won't get in and they'll go somewhere else. No, don't you worry. We've got a fast track system. We don't. We can manage to process the comparatively small number of people who will find some use in coming to work here. Like every other sector, science is shrinking in post-Brexit Britain. Like I say, we've reduced our access to international programmes. There's nothing to... You could argue, well, there's something compensating. If the UK government have increased the level of funding, they haven't. So the whole thing is smaller now. The science sector's actually smaller. Guess what that means? Don't need as many people working in a smaller sector. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. I hope you found the video interesting. If you did, don't forget to click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, please also click the Patreon link for details. And until next time, I'll see you later.